Hello, YouTube. Tony here with my guest Jeremiah today, filming what is probably going to be episode one of the Magical Hask podcast. Sadly, this is going to start off on a not so happy note. As everybody knows, the creator of Yu Gi Oh!, the grandfather of card games, has passed away. I know this video is about a week late, but honestly, it's like been a lot to process, and I'm going through my own thing as Jeremiah is. So we finally found time to kind of put it together. Jeremiah, say hello.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, it's me.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like I think it goes without saying that like no one really expected. I mean, you never really expect death, but like like just randomly see like an article where the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh just kind of like died, snorkeling, as they're saying it is right now. I think it kind of caught everybody in the community, manga and card game, like off guard, and like it's a lot to process because for a lot of us, like we kind of grew up with Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it was Dragon Ball, Yu-Gi-Oh, Sailor Moon, and all that. But for people that play card games, it was Yu-Gi-Oh. Like it sounds weird, but like I want to say like 90% of the friends that I have, like to this day, from being 14 then to 32 now, came from Yu-Gi-Oh. Jeremiah's been my friend for the last 14, 15 plus years. And I have a list. Like we can go with Johnson, we can go with George, Wayne, Carl. You look at people like Firm who had the card store, Barry, Jay, Ups. Like there's just so many different people that we know only because of Yu-Gi-Oh's existence, right?
Yeah,
So for this to happen was just kind of insane.
yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't really chime in the middle of that. I mean, it's affected us all. You know, some some more than others. Depending on the impact of what Yu-Gi-Oh kind of meant to you, because you know, he was a mangaka. Like he produced art, and art means different things to different people. You know, and honestly, it's not an over exaggeration to say like Yu-Gi-Oh is literally responsible for like our lives. It's like even even on like a minor level. I mean the game brings together so many different kinds of people. You never really think about it. You're just playing the game, just having a good time, and and then you think back and like Yu-Gi-Oh has just been like one of the most important aspects of my childhood. Like I have a lot of great memories playing Yu-Gi-Oh. With friends, with parental figures, even. And it's just really like it almost feels unreal. I mean, and I mean, in later episodes, viewers, you'll actually get a chance to meet the other people mentioned. Well, some of the other people mentioned by Tony. Uh, it's I'm actually kind of a loss for words. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. It's completely understandable because like again, this was unexpected, and it's weird because like you don't really think about the kind of impact that he had on your life until after he's passed, right? Like
Yeah,
think about all
definitely.
the friends that you do have. Think about like just the experiences that you had, like the tournaments we've gone to, or you know, just the fact that this game brought us together, and we've gone to do other things because this game brought us together to begin with. It's just you don't think about that stuff, and then he passes away. And me, I took the night to kind of process it because this kind of felt like Kobe all over again. I never met
Yeah.
Kobe, and I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't a Kobe fan. I hated Kobe, but he was a competitor. You know what I mean? So it's like I love to hate him, and the fact that he's not there to be hated anymore in that aspect kind of sucked. Because after Kobe retired, that's when I became a fan of him because he got to enjoy, like, he was starting a new chapter in his life. He was giving back to the basketball community, raising his daughters and all this stuff. So it was nice to see, and to see his life cut so short. was crazy, and it's kind of like this with Kazuki Takahashi because like it was just we're playing Destiny, log off, I'm watching The Sopranos. You post that, and then I see it on Facebook like maybe seconds after you sent that, like in chat, it would pop up on Facebook, and I'm like,
Yeah,
nah.
dude. Dude, like, dude, you think yours is bad? Like, it's like when we got off, like, I had every intention of going to sleep, but, sometimes I get, like, alerts on my phone, and, I don't really do social media too much, like, I'll have, like, a Twitter or so around, mostly for, like, news, honestly, and lo and behold, I get, you know, like a tweet all of a sudden, and then I just see that at like, well, it was like almost 3:30 in the morning, and then I was like, no, this has to be a joke, because sometimes you get like fake little posts, on social media, and I just was like, nope, this isn't funny because I know this name, Kazuki Takahashi. Like, there's no way that this is real, and I looked it up, and lo and behold, it's like of all people that could have showed up on that post.
Yeah, it's a little it's unsettling, it's because I like we spoke about this for a little bit after the fact, and just like I said, like where like you're literally one decision away from just losing your life, right? And it's not to say that you should like live in fear or anything at all. I don't think that because it's bad to look this way, but he passed away doing something that he loved, right? Like snorkeling was his hobby. So it's if I had to choose between that or like getting hit by a car, I'm pretty sure I would rather pass away doing something I enjoyed, right? So
Yeah, of course.
find a way to have me pass away eating steaks and I'm great, but like
Shoot.
it's just there. It's like it's I don't want to say traumatic. I feel like traumatic is like too much of a powerful word in this like stance, but it's just to again have this person who's had such an influence on your friends, right? Like on who you hang out with. Like he's had such a strong presence without ever actually being in my presence that it's kind of insane that like if I don't pick up Yu-Gi-Oh, we're probably not friends. I'm definitely not friends with Wayne because he's a weirdo. I'll never meet Johnson, never meet George, never meet Carl or like any of those people. You know what I mean? Like I might not even get into stuff like gaming, like because before I was never into that stuff. I play handball. In high school, I used to run track and stuff. So it's like despite my smaller stature, I kind of lean more towards the athletics than I did, um, stuff like card games. And I'm thankful that I definitely got into Yu-Gi-Oh because and this personally with given everything that's gone on with me, where it's been therapeutic too. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm 18 years old. I almost lose my life going to a regional. You know,
Yeah, yeah. That's a story for another time, guys.
right? So it's like just it's hard to sum it in just like one thing because there's just you can always just think of more. You think about the first game you played where you knew all the rules. You think about the first time you open a pack and you pulled like a secret rare or just your favorite card. You think about going to your local and getting a good trade. Like you just think about all these small interactions that kind of like lead you to where it is today, and like the guy's gone. Like, and it's not to say that his presence isn't going to be persistent. Hopefully they do right by his IP, but
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we don't get a Metal Gear situation.
I don't even want it to like I don't. And it's Konami too, so who knows? um,
Yeah, it's true.
but it's kind of astounding, to have somebody you've never met kind of influence your life like in this presence. Like you really think about just like what you do on a day-to-day basis. You might go to work, watch a show, whatever. You come home, and as soon as you look through some of your Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like you're kind of in your own world, right? And that's what he's kind of done for us. He's created this world for us where if you want to be a wizard, you could be a wizard. If you want to be somebody that's commanding an army of dead, you can do that. Like he's allowed us to have this imagination as adults, and you know it's definitely been taken for granted. I know for a fact I've taken it for granted because you don't again, I didn't think about stuff like this until after his tragic passing. So um
Yeah. Well, like it was a little weird for me too at first, because I mean, I don't think it's a over exaggeration to even say like I was like a complete weeb. Like I was like a super nerd for Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like I played the card game, I read the manga, so I guess growing up like in those moments you kind of don't think about it because it's just something cool made by this guy. But even from like the manga standpoint, the people who don't just enjoy the card game, the people who enjoy, the characters and the stories and the messages that he wanted to like convey, because like you said earlier, Yu-Gi-Oh got you into gaming, and one of the biggest things about Mr. Takahashi, if you care to look up any information on him, is he was a gamer too, and he wanted to create something great that he could share with people to bring people together. Like that was his intention, and it actually is like it's kind of awe-inspiring to know that this person wanted to make something for that reason. And I just kind of hope that living up to that ultimate moment, he understood and realized that he damn sure succeeded. Like
oh
he
yeah.
like he really brought people together through a tabletop game. Like something that like they make fun of in the bridge series. Shout out to Little Karibo. Like, oh, the children's trading card game. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of rambling. Like,
No, no, I mean,
just
honestly, it kind of felt like that's where the video was gonna go anyway. I'm not concerned about it. Like, however you feel like you need to express yourself, as long as it's following YouTube's guidelines, go for it.
yeah, of course we can't upset the overlords.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, but in all seriousness, it's I don't know. It's just Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, and I'm just talking about season one. Like the stuff that I don't know, depending on how old you are watching this video, like that came out in what? I mean, it was the 1998 for Japan, but for us, I think we got it in 2001, I believe.
I
Correct
remember
me if
first being introduced into Yu-Gi-Oh when I was in seventh grade,
yeah, it was
so maybe
about the
like
same time. So
2001, 2002.
yeah, like somewhere between that time,
Yeah.
right? And you know, oh man, like I'm just remembering, like middle school, like watching the show every Saturday, with these themes of friendship, you
Yep.
know, like the idea of this little kid, who was probably like around our age, but he was in high school. Yugi, of course, titular character.
Mhm.
Having difficulty making friends, and and some of us have been there. Some of us have had those moments in our lives where we were awkward. Where we didn't have too much of a group of friends. And like sometimes these, the experiences that we go through bring us together. Sometimes it's the things we love that we share that bring us together, and just as much as that scene was super corny in season one where Taya draws like the friendship, symbol on their hands. So, kind of like, the piece of that symbol, like everyone just kind of created this grand circle of friends. And, like, I don't know, maybe it just sounds a little corny, but I don't know. To me, Yu Gi Oh! Is, I mean, I don't know, I guess I could say Yu Gi Oh! Was kind of everything. It was literally everything.
Oh, I mean, I understand that to an extent, like from when I was younger, at least, because when I had we like it's I think it's fair to say when we were at like Nick's, like our original local, we were all bad. You know what I mean? Like we were
Yeah,
bad at Yu-Gi-Oh, and then when we started to kind of expand and go into like other locals and stuff, like things like started to change. So it's like as you kind of grew up and you matured mentally, like you matured through the card game as well, you know. And
Yeah.
you know, at one point in time, like it was like a livelihood for me, right? Like in like I kind of like I dove nose deep into it to where it was just like if I wasn't playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I was selling Yu-Gi-Oh. If I wasn't selling Yu-Gi-Oh, I was looking at like the next set or like just kind of planning, and it was just like yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh was kind of my life at one point in time, and you know, things slowed down after that incident, and you know, I was still selling Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, but it's like Yu-Gi-Oh just became more about being a hobby after that because it was a way to kind of like remove the restraints of like reality, if that makes sense. Like you're no longer being troubled by the fact that you only have one kidney because you're beating the hell out of this guy with a fucking uh dark magician that has Axis Despair equipped. Like you know what I mean? Like you just you're not thinking about that stuff anymore. So like Yu-Gi-Oh was like therapeutic for a lot of people. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh was an
Yeah.
escape for a lot of people. You know, our friend George, he hasn't had exactly an easy life growing up, but he loved Yu-Gi-Oh. He loved playing Elemental Heroes, you know, and
Yeah.
a lot of times when you're drawn to like, you know, like archetypes or decks or stuff like that, there's a reason why you're drawn for it. You know, maybe George being that he was such a huge Batman fan, maybe that allowed him to feel like he was like a hero in some aspect, you know? Or you look at our friend Wayne who tends to play like a lot of like underdog like decks, he probably feels like the underdog, and so he picks like these underachiever decks, and he tries to like push through with them, which is great. He loses a lot though, um,
I
but
mean, that's just by design. I
right,
mean, it's
right, it's just like Yu-Gi-Oh allowed you to kind of like extend yourself further than you could in real life through these cards. You know, for me personally, it really allowed me to like flourish in my creativity. You know, and kind of thinking outside of the box and stuff because when I'm playing stuff like Blackguard and Control, when I'm playing stuff like Giga Tool, you know, when I was playing stuff like you know, even like Dark Creator, like Black Wings, for example, like it's just being able to take like decks and either break them further or being able to take a concept and spin it into your own. Like it helps develop like an aspect of my mind where I kind of look at things a little differently now. So like there's the norm and then there's like my norm. You know, so when I play other stuff like when I play Destiny, when I play like, you know, 2K, I'm not doing nothing that might be considered normal, you know? So but it works for me, and that's kind of like the important thing. So Yu-Gi-Oh for me like kind of allowed me to like not only express myself, but like it gave me the confidence to express myself and kind of like show people that this is who I am, and if you don't like it, then you're gonna get rolled over, and that's what happened to people that I played against. That's what happened to people that used to play me for their cards, for their books and stuff. I miss those days. You know,
that,
so it's just like again, you don't really think about this stuff until you're faced with a situation where you're like, yo, like this is just reality now. Like this great great spirit is gone now, and you know he's given us so much more than he's taken from life, and it's it almost feels like it's unfair that you know at the age of 60 that this guy is not going to be able to enjoy retirement, you know, because he was still working, you know, at the time of his passing he was still like doing a lot. He had just finished doing like I think it was like a Dragon Ball Z crossover like art. I don't know if you saw that.
yeah, I actually saw that where he drew some of the characters in his like
Yeah,
his
in
iconic
Yu-Gi-Oh style. I
style.
thought that was dope, you know. And
Yeah.
you know me that I don't really care too much for like anime or manga anymore because of like how I guess like the mainstream of it kind of like ruined the appeal to me. And
Yeah, I completely understand.
yeah, so it's like but I'm always appreciative of those like you know, the Masashi Kishimoto's and the Kazuki Takahashi's, like the old school guys that they kind of stood to their standard, you know, because like new Yu-Gi-Oh now still kind of looks a little weird in terms of like the aesthetic because it's so much more colorful now, but the
Oh yeah,
characters still look
definitely.
like his characters, you know, like they don't look. It's I don't want to say this without like I don't want to like trash other animes or anything like that, but you look at like stuff like even like My Hero. My Hero is a great anime, but there's some characters like Manita who need to die, and like there's just they it's just he never let that standard slip, which is something I've always been appreciative of him. That he like he allowed his art to kind of express him, and he didn't like kind of like bend it into mainstream. Obviously, he's trying to sell his product through his animes and stuff like that, but it's just I just appreciate that it didn't really dictate the card game the way something like Card Fight does, where their seasons tend to go along with pushing product versus Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's just like they put out product and somebody on the show might be playing it.
They're
You know?
always independent of each other. I mean, to like some degree, I guess you can say game mechanics would normally come out. Like yeah, like for example, Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns pretty much comes out. Link Monster introduced to the game, but there were a lot of independent archetypes that were not present in the show. Like, I mean, I still haven't seen anyone in the show play Gladiator Beast or Six Samurai, and those decks were meta defining.
Right,
Like,
and
I mean,
I've
like,
always wanted to see a Gladiator Beast duelist in a Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I kind of feel like
oh yeah,
that deck would
oh,
fit
absolutely,
the anime. Well, at least like in like GX, I think it would have been amazing, right?
oh,
Like
absolutely.
because the game was just like so much slower, and it would be like it could have been the introduction of Contact Fusion before we got Neos, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
or
But of
even if
course
they
they,
wanted to hold it for 5Ds, that would have been fine too.
yeah. But I mean, I don't know, because uh, I mean, I don't. I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine a deck like Gladiator Beast like losing to like those main character decks. No offense to them, but I just don't see anyone in 5Ds beating a Gladiator Beast deck. I'm sorry.
Well,
Like that would have been
that's why
or
that would have been great for what's his name, the guy that was trying to stop Synchro, so he had like those mech lords. See, I didn't watch 5Ds that much, so I don't remember the names. But one of his guys
oh
could have been
no.
playing it because Gladiator Beast, could have been an anti synchro deck in some aspect. Now we're just talking about something different.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. We just
No,
like
no, no.
trailed
It's
off here.
fine. It's fine. I kind of like the open floor here. As long as it stays in the realm of what we're talking about. Um,
Yeah, yeah, of course.
so I mean, the only thing I kind of regret though when it comes to like Kazuki Takahashi is never actually getting to meet him. Like
Yeah.
especially when he's doing like these signings and stuff. Like I don't really fanboy over things. I'm not like a stan or nothing like that. But there are a few exceptions. Obviously if I was to ever meet Eminem,
Of
Stone
course.
Cold Steve
The
Austin.
real
Like there'd be situations where it's like you might see a different version of me. Kazuki Takahashi would have definitely been one of those instances. You know,
Yeah, I would have been right there alongside you, like completely geeking out.
like
Like, come on, like, come on. This man gave us the beauty of Dark Magician. Like, I have to like bow to this man. Like, I mean, come on.
yeah,
But
yeah. I mean, I can already picture like us meeting him though, and then like Wayne's like, where's the rate support? Like he doesn't come out with this stuff, dude.
oh god, just let it go away. But I mean, and I think that's also the part that hits the hardest as well, because like you said, like Takahashi-san is, good lord, Mr. Takahashi. For those of you who are American, I'm sorry. Um, he was really active in the community as well. Like sometimes he would just get up one day and be like, "Oh hey, like I have a real cool art I want to make, or like a new card," and he would just draw it up. And it's like now we kind of won't get that anymore. Like we won't get those beautifully hand drawn anniversary arts or those gag cards like well, the True Exodia or that Shiba card that apparently was supposed to be his pet dog. I actually didn't know that.
Really, the anniversary card?
No, no, it was I forget what the card was called. Shiba Taro something something.
Yeah, that it came with like those alt arts of like um like the Summon Skull, Red Eyes, that
Yeah,
Megami
you
card.
know. Yeah, like all those things that just have like his. That's what's called Shiba Warrior Taro. Thank you. Oh man,
I used to actually use
got
that in
my
Synchro Cat.
Really?
Yeah, so like obviously it doesn't belong in there, but I thought it was cute, so I put it in there.
Well, yeah, like just random information for you. Like apparently that was his dog. He just got up one day after walking his dog, and he was just like, "Yes," and he just turned this into like a card, like little quirky stuff like that. Like he just sounded like such an amazing person. I wish I got a chance to meet him. I mean, I
Right.
thought if I knew I had the time, I would have just, I don't know.
You see, that's kind of the other thing that I took from this too. Like when that happened, like when he passed and stuff, like the first thing I thought about was like the last time I got to hang out with my friends. Because for those of you that don't know, if you've gotten this far in the video, I in April I had broken my leg, and it's really restricted me in just being normal, And one of the things I normally do, like I was supposed to go on vacation, actually go hang out with Jeremiah upstate, and obviously that didn't happen. So it's just like now I feel a little more pressed on like spending time with like the people that I care about, the people that I love and stuff, because it's just again like at any time anybody can go, and it's a scary thought. But that's kind of the beauty of life too. Like if we take more time out to kind of just appreciate each other, so many things just feel better. And I want like you guys to understand that, like especially the people that you and I play games with every day. Like I appreciate you guys. Despite me having to constantly carry you guys through content, like it's it's like if I didn't like doing it, I wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? And it's just
Hey man, I can hold my own. I can hold my own, all
sure. Um, but no, it's just like it's just I can't wait till I can walk again. I can't wait till I can start moving around, and like once I get the okay from my doctor, first thing I'm doing is going to my cousin's house, and I'm gonna go see my grandmother. And it's just I'm just waiting for all that stuff to come into play, and make my way back upstate, play some
right?
card games
Well,
up there.
I mean, of course, in moderation. You don't want to,
Nah,
do too much too quickly.
nah.
No,
I'm,
'cause I do understand, but
I
I
feel
don't know.
like
Like,
I'm
I
in
guess,
that Saiyan pod that they use for healing, but it's just my leg. Like,
jeez, I don't know. It's like, I mean, also want people out there, to also think about it in the sense of, you know, just like to like further expand what you said. Like, life is precious. Like you never know, how much you care about something or someone. And even the things that you don't feel like you directly have until all of a sudden you wake up and it's not there.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
and it's and that honestly, it can be difficult to think about it that way, but that's why it is important to be there for the people you care about. To do the things that you love, like unapologetically. Like don't ever feel that you have to be ashamed for something that you love doing, or someone or something that brings you joy. Like these things are there because pretty much you never know what you could mean to someone. You never know what the things you do could mean to the people around you. The people you could inspire. And Takahashi's life definitely showed us that. Like it definitely showed us that sometimes a weird idea, just your desire to express something that you have on your mind, whether that could be a piece of writing, whether that could be a job you do, a smile you give someone, a favor, anything, can have effects that can ripple on for generations, so it's just, it's inspiring and a little heartbreaking because even though he's gone, like as long as we're here loving this game, loving this media, this IP, supporting it, caring about it, dueling, you know he's not gone. Kind of like that final episode of well, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen a literally a 25-year-old anime. Like when the spirit of the Millennium Puzzle, Pharaoh Tim like leaves, it's like he's not gone. Like not not really. He's still there with us. And I think that's the best way we could really keep him alive. His message alive.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. I just
I'm sorry.
well, no, I mean, I was gonna say, I just like now it's just like it's like kind of it's still kind of like not real in a sense where it's just like you just think about like all these things that we've done, together because of this card game, and it's just like the reason for all that happening is just gone.
Yeah, yeah. it is a. It's definitely a hard pill to swallow. Sorry about the. It's. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, maybe this is just part of the grieving process, And for those of you out there who uh, who may have gone through something like this, whether you be a Kobe fan or a fan of Mr. Takahashi yourself, you know, don't feel strange about mourning the death of someone that you never met before, because if this person had any sort of impact in your life, you're a part of everything that he tried to build as well. All of us here, all the friends you made, all the memories you made, that's that's deep. Like those, even if it seems kind of like inconsequential, like like your friends, your all the people in your life. If Yu-Gi-Oh brought those people into your life, then that's just his message reaching you. Friendship, courage. Duels were supposed to be souls versus souls, or it's kind of hard to translate some of the stuff that he that he's written. I'm sorry, I'm not
Oh,
very fluent.
nah, I
Japanese.
understand. I mean, we could still do soul versus soul, but it might be like fist fighting. We'll figure it out.
Oh,
No, but one thing I'm super appreciative of is like just like Yu-Gi-Oh being the gateway to so many other things. And I don't mean like in a bad way, but like if there's no Yu-Gi-Oh, then I don't try out other card games. You know what I mean? Like I don't try out Dragon Ball. I don't try out
yeah.
Naruto. I don't try out Digimon. I don't try out Pokemon. I don't get into the Pokemon video games. And it's just you think about like it just planting that seed and everything that came from it. Like I would have never understood how competitive I was if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh. And I don't mean like toxic competitive or it's like I'm not allowed to lose, but it's like I like to win. So it kind of forces me to improve myself until I get to a point where it's just like I'm at like a mountaintop and I'm waiting for somebody to meet me there so I can find a way to go further. And
Was you back on Mount Silver?
huh? It was. No, but it's just it's just insane. Like, and if you really like just think about like just that impact alone, it's like being an awkward light skinned kid that lives in a predominantly black neighborhood. Like, I had no real way of like connecting to my environment outside of that. And it's because of that that I was able to make the friends that I made. It's because of that I was able to kind of get out of who I was in terms of being like a quiet kid that didn't really like to talk. And it's like I found my voice because of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's just again, it's kind of weird that you like drawn monsters on cardboard is the reason why I am who I am today. Obviously there's other factors, but it's like it's an important catalyst. Um, I kind of found my voice through Yu-Gi-Oh, and like Jeremiah can tell you, like when we play like anything that there's a level of competition, and if I'm not first, it's not good enough, and I'm gonna keep pushing myself until I am. Like
Oh yeah,
I
with
have
that.
a very obsessive like outlook on just like being the best that I can. Like It's so important to me.
Yeah, that's that's a light way of putting it, but no, I mean it
Well,
actually is
what's
awe-inspiring because honestly,
what's the not
if you
light
didn't go
way?
as hard as
What's the not light
I mean,
way?
yeah, but hey, if you didn't go as hard as you did, I wouldn't be trying as hard to try to overcome it. Like having a rival is actually very, very useful. Like very, very, very inspiring. Because I'm a lazy person. For anyone who don't obviously who listen to this video who don't know me personally, like I am lazy. Like it takes a lot to get me motivated, but Yu-Gi-Oh is one of those things that made me motivated as well. Like just the idea, of not even necessarily becoming like amazing or like winning and topping tournaments, but just being able to kind of swing, in like that weight class, like play with the best, trade with the best. I guess that's kind of my inspiration. But now I'm kind of becoming more competitive because I have to admit, growing up, I was kind of just stuck up in the in like the awe of it all. Like I didn't try as hard as I would have liked to. Because I mean, now we're just because there was a point in time where we played in our childhood, and there was a point in time where we stopped for like a very long time, like over a decade. But you know what they say, like when you play Yu-Gi-Oh, you never truly quit.
So if it wasn't
And then
for the current state of the world, because you're not allowed to say that word on YouTube without getting your account banned.
oh yeah, absolutely.
But if it wasn't for the Steve Carino virus, um, honestly speaking, I probably would have never returned to it, like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Because I was just busy with everything else. But the world comes to a stop, and you need an outlet. And Jeremiah was there, like play Yu-Gi-Oh. And it's just so like after a 7 year hiatus, I decided to come back, and it was a good decision. At least right now, it feels like a good decision. I haven't played in some time because people would be ducking me, yo. Um,
Calling you out, Wayne.
you
Calling
know,
you out.
but like it, the Yu-Gi-Oh is definitely not for everyone right now. Like a lot of people don't like negates, and I personally do. I think it's funny when your opponent tries to do something, you just say no. Um,
Yeah, interaction is important.
yeah. Well, my interaction is you not allowing to interact.
Shoot. I
but
mean, the state of the game is probably a discussion, like the full discussion for like another time.
mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah. Just overall, like it goes back to what a wonderful gift we were given by Mr. Takahashi, and it's something that I clearly have taken for granted for far too long, and
Yeah, me too. Me too.
it's just I didn't want to. I really wish I could have said this to him, but I really would like to thank Mr. Takahashi for just introducing us into my life. He obviously didn't come to me like, "Hey, play Yu-Gi-Oh," but him even making this like available through the show, and then Konami, well, Upper Deck, and then Konami adopting it and just kind of like putting life into it and just like allowing it to grow and allowing the people to grow with it. It's given me so many gifts along with headaches, and in some situations like a desire to just go crazy and like murder people with dark arm dragons. Um, you know,
God.
but yeah, like it's just I'm so appreciative of the amount of gifts I was given by someone I've never met, and I really wish that I could have met him in person, got him to sign a graphic for me, and then just thank them. But I'm pretty sure that he understood how much he was loved and appreciated. Like that's one thing I can definitely give like his fans, because you get like a lot of fans that tend to like flip flop, or they're very hot and cold with people, and like I didn't ever really see that with his fans. Like anytime he posted on
Yeah.
like Instagram, or like you saw like him in a YouTube video, it was always positive. Like he was so beloved that that's one of the things that I'm happy about. Because you get some people that when they pass, that's when people try to drag them through the mud, and thankfully this was not the case for him.
Yeah, he definitely deserves all the love
Yeah, like
that he deserves.
he was he thankfully got his flowers while he was still alive, and hopefully people still continue to do that without him here. Like, just continue to appreciate Yu-Gi-Oh, animes, mangas, the card game, the video games, however you want to like appreciate like his artwork, do it. But just make sure that
Yeah.
you appreciate it because we didn't have to have this. Like this, he like after his first few like mangas failed, he could have went on and just did something else, and we would have never had Yu-Gi-Oh. Your friend group you would probably never have known. You would have never experienced like tournaments and stuff like that. Like it's just there's just so many layers of thankfulness that I have that honestly speaking, we've gone 40 minutes already. We could probably go another 4 hours.
Yeah. Like
And
I still wouldn't cover everything.
right, like it sucks. It truly does.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I know it's also a bit too late to express to the fullest extent, but yeah, if I actually did have an opportunity, I would like to also say thank you to Mr. Takahashi for you know being blessed with the idea of a lonely little weird kid who solved the puzzle and then connected all of our lives like he did that puzzle. Like it was it was probably the most amazing story that I've ever read. It it really gave a lot of people, an outlet, sometimes like guidance, and like your personal lives, courage and confidence that you probably couldn't find, looking up to your favorite character ever, how he stood up against impossible odds and, you know, defeated opponents that honestly he probably had no business beating sometimes, you know, to give us that message, to not give up, just, stand up in the face of adversity to, that you too could have friends that can accept you for who you are. It's like it was really powerful.
You, you know,
Like Yu-Gi-Oh. Hmm?
like I'm sorry to cut you, but that's like a
Oh, that's
really
fine.
important thing. The accepting people because honestly speaking, I know the Yu-Gi-Oh community tends to get like a lot of flack for being toxic, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's just really a case of like the loud minority versus the silent majority. Um,
Yeah.
but like the main thing is like I have all kinds of friends. Like you look at our immediate friend group, right? You have like George who's a little quirky. There's me who's like this raging loudmouth. um, there's Wayne who's kind of like well first and I hate to put him on blast like this, but Wayne was like my first like gay friend, and like it just kind of like just gives you access to all these walks of life without like kind of being judgmental because at the end of the day the only thing you're going to care about is whether or not this person can play Yu-Gi-Oh. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're not really
Yeah.
looking at them for their person until after you've played them and then you chat for a little bit and then you guys just kind of bond over that and it's almost like amazing that it was we're able to do this through a card game but then you get stuff like these therapy sessions where people are still mad after they're done and they're still harming people but just play a
Yeah.
card
That's
game
true.
make friends it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah. Like it's beautiful. Like sometimes all it takes is some common ground. For some people who might have difficulties to see past those things. To accept each other. And honestly, I think it's what we can use a lot more of in the world nowadays. And Takahashi Sensei was definitely a big part of that. And he was just he was like too good for this world sometimes when you see some of his tweets, he was just like he was something. He was definitely something. And I don't know if we'll ever get another like him.
If we do it won't be in our lifetime probably like
Probably.
there's just so much like separation now like a lot of people like tend to think with their anger instead of just trying to be a little more understanding. And the fun thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is that you have to be understanding because you have to understand what cards do. You have to understand the rules. You have to understand how chains work. So at the end of the day, like your whole like understanding is built into your character in some fashion,
Yep.
And you're gonna get
And you got
frustrated. You're gonna get mad at people and stuff like that, especially when they try to bottomless trap hole your Jinzo. But
God, like that was Jesus Christ, Walter.
but
uh,
it's my security instructor, the guy that comes and does our 8 hour class every year, he always has this one focus during his lesson that is like, you know, people expect you to pay attention to like the big picture, but the things that are always important are the little things. Because when you miss the little things, you miss the small things that make the big things important, right? And the fact that I never realized how much Kazuki Takahashi like gave, now I'm feeling a little like it's like his passing has made it like more sad because I never realized that until after he was gone. So that little thing kind of like exacerbated like his passing, and that's the thing that I think people need to start like paying attention to more, like the little things, because you might have a friend that texts you every single day, and you're not gonna realize that they text you every day until they don't text you for 2 days in a row, and then you're gonna start missing that. Maybe you guys had like a fallout or something, or maybe just they're tired of being the one that having to text you. You know what I mean? But like, pay attention to the little things. Like the little things make big impressions on people. Like it can be a friendly gesture, it could be a greeting, it could just be like, buy a cup of coffee for someone. Just be more positive, be more appreciative, because you don't want to lose something before you understand like how much you loved it or enjoyed it or just appreciated it. Just like pay attention. That's the most important thing. Like you know it's like I try to make it apparent without outright saying it because it's kind of like a guy thing. But like my group of friends, the ones that I speak to every day, because Jeremiah is one of them, and it's the same people I play Destiny with, the same people I play Yu-Gi-Oh with, Digimon with, whatever. Like flat out, I love them. Like most of my days I spend either talking to them, texting them, or just playing games with them, and it's just like you know if something was to happen to any of them, or if I was to lose any of them, like that would be devastating. So it's like if I felt this way with some guy I never met, you just can just imagine what it is where you weren't appreciating something closer. So just be more appreciative. Don't stop acknowledging your friends. Don't stop being yourself. Like there's just so many things you can pull from this.
yeah.
Just don't like use permanent marker and draw a symbol on your hand. Hey, that was fucking stupid.
Hey man, the power of friendship can pull you through many duels.
I still don't understand how it stopped Pegasus from like being able to read Yugi's mind. Like,
Yeah, I know. Plot armor, I guess. I
I
don't
don't like it made
know.
no sense to me. Like, and wasn't one of them incapacitated and they were still blocking like the image? Like, whatever.
Actually, yeah, little Yugi was actually comatose, and they were like holding up like his lifeless body. It was actually kind of funny when you think, but when you think,
See, I didn't pay attention to that little thing. Now I gotta look back. um, but
so good.
yeah, like ultimately, like I think it's important that like we kind of get out of our own way and express like just love a little more, because the whole I'll get to it tomorrow mentality, or I'll do it later, like it's such a bad thing to do, because there's gonna be a day where you go to do it and you're not able to because it's just not available anymore. And that could be with people, that could be with a hobby, it could be with a pet, it could be with a video game, it could be with like your favorite food. Like you just never know.
Yeah, because these are all the things that you enjoy in your life that you never really think about until maybe one day it's gone,
Hmm.
and that is a scary thought too.
Oh yeah, and it kind of like it almost makes you like human in a sense. It's like it's what makes us human. Like it's just at any point in time gone, and I hate that thought. you know, like
Yeah.
I just hate the idea of waking up and suddenly like one of my friends isn't there anymore or one of my dogs passed away. Like it terrifies me, you know, and that's why when I do other things, I'm so like confident in it because there's gonna be a day where I don't have it anymore, and I don't want to live my life with regret.
Yeah. Oh man, this has been this has been a very emotional episode.
Yeah, like I
It's,
never thought our first episode for this was gonna be this, and hopefully this isn't the last. It's again when it comes to like setting stuff like this up, like especially with my current like situation with my leg being the way it is, um, it's not easy to put together. Cause I've kind of been holding off like YouTube videos for a little bit, mainly because I cannot really set up by myself. Um,
yeah.
like so like that's why I haven't done any like deck profiles or anything because like to set up the clamps, set up the table, like doing all that while trying to like hop around is not safe. so like like as soon as I'm able to walk even just a little bit, like that stuff should resume. Um
Okay.
but yeah, I mean like if there's one thing that I want my friends to understand, you included Jeremiah, especially like you because you become like one of my closer friends actually. You know, I just appreciate you guys like a lot. Like there's no other way to express it. Like even
Yeah, I
though
appreciate it.
even
You too.
though you won't for some reason get away from Dark Magician. No. In all seriousness, even though like it doesn't like I guess like show through like our daily interaction. I guess like I hope you understand that like you Veronica, Wayne, and the rest of the guys that I've listed a few times throughout this video. Like I hope you guys understand how much I care for you guys and appreciate you guys and want the best for you guys. Like that's the main thing.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same. It's just I don't know, it's just kind of weird just openly like express it. It's
Yeah, it is
not something you
weird.
get really to do every day.
Yeah. It's weird, but I think that's kind of the problem too. Is that like that stuff, like those kind of interactions, especially amongst our friend group. I think we just need to kind of normalize it a little bit. We're human, right? Like
Yeah.
and I think it's important to kind of be transparent with each other, like good and bad. And yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure that should anything happen to any of us, it's understood the level of importance that you guys are to me, and like my life is just so much better with you guys in it.
Awesome. I'm sorry, I'm not used to this kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
Again, it's an interesting link for me too because I don't normally again do this, but I again it's important like you know especially when you think about like these major passings. Like you can go all the way back to like Paul Walker, where he's just gone. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
gone, and it's just yeah, it's kind of gotten worse over time because like you look at Kobe Bryant, you grew up with Kobe Bryant being a household name. Look at Kazuki Takahashi, and he was just kind of important to your growth, your development, to your person, and just it's kind of insane that the older we get, the more that like a lot of our influences or a lot of the people that we were inspired by or looked up to were just gone.
Yeah. I guess. I guess in a way, it kind of. I mean, I don't know. I guess in a way, it's kind of like a way to kind of open the floor for us now to kind of pass on that stuff, which is what I actually hope happens with videos like this or whatever we end up doing in the future. Like hopefully, the important lessons that were, given to us to help us grow into the people we were, you know, can be passed on to other people. And, you know, maybe they can grow into someone that they didn't think they could become and pass it on further still. It would be, I mean, that would be the best way to keep his dream alive.
Oh yeah, and I think we should probably be ending this because we're literally 5 minutes off from like an hour now. Um,
Oh,
so
oh sweet Lord.
right, so I appreciate you taking the time to do this with me because I know
No, no problem.
it's not easy to dedicate like your time like this. So I appreciate it. I want to like finish this off by saying thank you again, Mr. Takahashi. To the people that are watching this, if you made it this far, love the people around you. Appreciate them and let them understand that that you love them. Like it's important for that. We're always one decision away from passing. Always, because he made the decision that morning to go snorkeling, and again, not like he should live in fear. He passed doing what he loved doing, but like you just never know. And just to be more appreciative, like the small things that are in your life, like you're gonna miss them when they're not there. It could be your pet waking up in the morning. It can be like your favorite pair of sneakers that are like 10 steps away from ripping. Like you just never know. So just appreciate the stuff that you have because it's not forever. Nothing is. All right. So with that, I'm gonna cut the video here. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you guys have stayed this far and you would like to see more content like this, let me know. We could try to do like a weekly podcast if I can get like more people involved and on board. And just let me know what you guys want to talk about. Like maybe we can even have some of the viewers that watch this, like come and talk. And it would just be great to kind of have like an outlet kind of thing for anybody. It could be centered around card games. It could be centered around like life, whatever it is you guys want to talk about would be great. So once again, thank you. I always appreciate my viewers, and you guys have a great day, night, morning, whenever you watch this. See you then.